What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Boleros. Sam here with the Sultan of Sando, Mr. Gablim, and the Prophet himself, Mr. Maui Yup. What's up, guys? Nagkita
Ang
tayo ulit.
sakit. Ang sakit.
Sakit ng
Sakit.
talo.
Matalo lang ganun.
Grabe yung talo.
Grabe.
Crazy.
Actually, that was my first question. How do you feel about that game? Because that was exciting. You cannot deny that was an interesting and exciting game. It went to double overtime. Bunch of clutch baskets. Almost had it in the fourth. Almost had it in the first overtime. Almost had it in the second overtime. Pero syempre ang sakit dahil talo pa rin. So help me, what are your emotions right now? What emotions did you go through watching that game, Gab?
Everything. I think I said it on the description of this video. I went through all the emotions. I went through frustration that Junmar wasn't being played. And the rotations were like that, and how we played. I went through excitement when we finally took the lead, on a 1 GDL step back 3 in the third quarter, 63 to 60. I went through hype when Mike Phillips getting the offensive rebound, getting an unsportsmanlike foul, and then nervousness when the game was close in regulation, when it was 79 to 77 on a KQ floater. And again, just nervousness, disappointment when they were allowing straight line drives, when they were committing stupid fouls, disbelief when they Tim Cone inserted Chris Newsom, who hadn't played the entire game
In the second
in the
overtime.
second overtime,
With
he
like
committed
3
a
minutes
dumb
left.
foul, committed a dumb foul, then ran a really stupid play and cost Justin Brownlee to commit an
What
offensive
play?
foul.
What play are you
What play?
talking about?
There was no play. He just called Justin Brownlee. And then ultimately sadness and disappointment when I realized na, oh my God, we were gonna lose, especially when on that terrible inbound play, nothing was happening, just a straight lob to Justin Brownlee on the top of the key. What the hell was that? I went through every single emotion in that fourth quarter, in that entire game. Just grabe. Napagod daw sa kakanood, na-excite, everything. Is unexplainable. But sayang, ang sakit. Definitely winnable, Maui.
Ang ganda ng sinabi ni Gab. I think yung list of emotions that you went throughout the whole game. Bundle of nerves, happiness, sadness, disappointment. But I think for me, the hardest part is sayang. Yun lang, yung feeling ko right now is really, sayang that we could have won this game. I think was a very winnable game for Gilas Pilipinas. I think that's why Coach Tim was very emotional and Sid White was very emotional in the press conference after. They knew that they could beat this team, even on Justin Brown, a very disappointing game by Justin Brownlee.
Yeah, one of his worst games, fouled out again. We'll talk more about him later. By the way, we are doing this live. Shout out to the people watching and the people commenting. So I do wanna go to some of the comments here. Free Carl. Basically people asking for the younger guys to play. I think this is something that you guys have talked about in the previous Gilas stints. Asking for at least KQ, Carl Tamayo to get more minutes. This time they did get a ton of minutes, especially with some of the guys missing. Thoughts on the younger guys finally getting minutes? But you talked about it, Gab. Junmar still starting. How do you fix that? I know, syempre wala si Kai, wala si QMB. What are your thoughts on the lineup for this game?
I loved it. Actually, naghanda na ako ng title for this podcast, Sammy. Something
Ano?
like the Gilas Youth Movement beats New Zealand. Diba? Naghanda na ako ng fourth quarter nung lumamang na tayo. And we were a few seconds away from winning this game. I was like, oh, you might title na ako because the young guys were being played. Finally, yun ang isang reaction ko. Finally, Tim Cone had some sense in him to play the younger guys. Diba? Finally set Carl Tamayo, KQ, 1GDL, and even RJ Abarientos. Finally, he's in the lineup. It took a while. It took him getting, I think he was best player of the conference in the last conference for Ginebra. It took him that long to finally realize I have to play younger guys. I cannot play 35 and above guys every single time. Form 35 and above forming the core of the rotation. Sabi ko, yun nagre-rejoice na ako nung nanonood. Sabi ko, finally, we're getting the young guys rotation minutes. We're setting the young guys free. Nakanda na ako ng title eh. So, yeah, I thought if this is gonna be the rotation moving forward, I'm gonna be happy. I'm gonna be happy because it means that there's a plan for the future. Diba? That was what we were questioning, diba? When Tim Cone first took over the Gilas program. Ano yung plan for the future? Kasi 12 guys in the pool, what happens if the guys get old? What happens if the guys get injured? Who else are we trying to develop after this current crop? Because yung nga, diba, the goal was to 2028 Olympics. By that time, magkwa-40 na si Justin Brownlee at si Junmar. So, saka si na Japeth, di ba? So, we have to develop guys who can play beyond that. And finally, we're seeing some form of it. So, I was happy. Pero nagtaka ako na pagdating ng sa starting five, Junmar and Troy Rosario.
Rosario?
What?
Parang 2012 no, Gilas.
Yun nga eh. And parang di natuto si Tim Cone kasi, di ba, I think in their last matchup or two matchups ago against New Zealand, New Zealand's coach was caught on camera saying, if Fajardo is on the is there inside, target him. Di ba? We're going at Fajardo. And lo and behold,
Sam gets me anytime.
Sana walang New Zealander na nanonood. Kung meron man, I hope you please do not take any offense in the accent.
Hindi ko kung British ba yun or Kiwi
Hindi ko
accent.
din alam.
Eh. Hindi ko pa makuha yung Kiwi accent. No? I'm trying to learn. But anyway, lo and behold, first play of the game. As soon as pag-jump ball pa lang na yung nakuha ng New Zealand ang bola, si Shea Ely called for Junmar Fajardo's man to set a pick. And lo and behold, 3-point play. Junmar Fajardo. And one. Attacking Junmar. He missed the free throw. Got an offensive rebound. What happened next? Pick and roll, Junmar Fajardo. Pick and pop with Sam Wardenberg. Alam ni. Sobrang alam ni. Sorry if it's more of an Aussie accent.
Shout out to Johnny Sky.
Sorry. But yeah, it's frustrating to me. And he was put back. I think after that stint when he started, Junmar was put back in the second quarter, around the 5-minute mark of the second quarter. He was put back in the game. Sakto when he was put back in the game, Carl Tamayo caught fire. And I think si 1GDL also got some baskets in, and see RJ Abariento. So we made a run. But it coincided with Junmar giving up baskets on the other end. I think he gave up a drive. He missed a defensive assignment off an offensive rebound, got an easy dunk. I think si Wardenberg din yun. And then finally the last throw, again, pick and roll, Junmar, wide open three for Cal Webster. And then he was subbed out and he was never seen again. Sayang eh, it was a run for Gilas Pilipinas, but it coincided with Junmar giving up easy baskets on the other end. I don't understand how we keep on trying to play Junmar. It has been proven already for multiple windows and matchups already. Junmar is not anymore for international basketball. Uh, in Junmar at this point has to be like an emergency big. Parang yung role ni Japeth in the past couple of windows. He's just there in case we need him. In case magka-foul trouble or there are injuries to the other bigs, let's put in Japeth. That's
Big
the role
body.
of Junmar now. Yeah, you just have a big body. Yun na ang role ni Junmar. Emergency big. Just a guy and maybe a vibes guy from all the videos. It seems like si Junmar is a good vibes guy. You know, he's a funny dude. He likes playing games.
Gamer yan.
Oh, diba? Yung gamer yan, yung nag-Dota yan. So, and he jokes around. He seems like a light-hearted guy. Siguro yun na yung role niya, veteran. But you can't start him. You can't keep on playing him rotation minutes. The center rotation a while ago should have been just Mike Phillips and AJ Edu. I don't understand why we're trying to force Junmar Fajardo to play big minutes. Hindi na niya kaya. PBA siguro kaya pa because, you know, it's slow there. They feed him, diba? Walang masyadong stretch bigs doon. Kaya pa yan sa PBA. Okay. Not anymore. Hindi na siya pang international. Just that was frustrating. The other part is, and I think someone said there here, if Justin Brownlee struggled, but there was a reason Justin Brownlee struggled. Same as their last matchup here in MOA, nag-game plan ng New Zealand for Justin Brownlee. It was the same thing they did when they were here in MOA. And I think si Charlie Cunha was on the call together with the Dean, Kinito Henson. And he said, ano ba yung hex kay Brownlee? Yung siguro there's something wrong with Brownlee. There was nothing wrong with Justin Brownlee. It was all New Zealand. Gotta give credit where credit is due. New Zealand game plan for Justin Brownlee the same way they game planned in the previous game. Whenever Justin Brownlee caught it in the post or in the wing, instant double. Get it out of his hands. Instant trap. Whenever he would get it yung top of the key, they would wait for him to make his second counter, double, and then he would lose the ball. I think that's how he got his second that key turnover. What was it, the first overtime or second overtime when he lost the ball on a spin move? Na-anticipate na eh. Once you block off his first dribble, he will try to get to the other side. Alam na ng New Zealand eh. They send a second defender right away. Basang-basa na nila si Justin Brownlee. It wasn't anything that Justin Brownlee, was cursed or he had an injury or was tired. Heck, he hadn't played in 16 days. Diba? Nung 2 tune-up games, hindi siya yung naglaro. Nagpahinga lang siya.
Oo nga, no? Yeah.
Diba?
That's a good point.
He hadn't played in 16 days. So, he's technically, quote-unquote, fresh from a PBA championship run, but it's frustrating that they kept on trying to feed him even in the first overtime, second overtime. Pinipilit nila through Justin Brownlee, and I think it led to some turnovers because alam na ng New Zealand yung spots si Justin Brownlee, where he likes to get the ball, how he likes to get them. And I'm sorry to Justin Brownlee, but he looks old. He looked old.
Well, he is 38, so he is old.
So he is old. Sorry.
He's
He is
old. In basketball terms.
Oh,
Basketball
he is
years.
old. Diba? Whenever he was not trapped and he would have a one-on-one opportunity, he couldn't get by his younger defenders. Si Langatay, si Terangi, and si Davidson, way more
Davidson,
athletic than...
grabe.
Yeah, he
Grabe
couldn't
defense
get
ni
by.
Davidson.
Wala na siyang explosiveness and you can't blame him. He's 38. He couldn't get by his man anymore. Diba? They were not giving him airspace to get off his pull-up jump shots. So he was forced to drive, but he couldn't drive. Wala na siyang explosiveness. And on the other end, and I don't know if people caught this, in a first quarter timeout, Coach Flavel of New Zealand was caught in the camera saying, "We're targeting Brownlee." They know already that Justin Brownlee is old and we have to target him defensively, and that it's the same game plan they did in the previous game. In MOA, Justin Brownlee fouled out. They were targeting him defensively. And the same thing here. He is the old guy among all of the young guys that were playing. So, uh, yeah, I'm sorry. Justin Brownlee has given us great moments. He's been the Michael Jordan of Philippine basketball for the last how many years. But I think it's time to lace it up. Hindi na kaya ni Justin Brownlee. I'm sorry. Or it's it's so crazy. It's so crazy to me that they were trying to force a lot of action through Justin Brownlee. I thought they should have just ran it through the young guys, especially in that first and second overtimes. Yun lang. But yeah, to answer your question, well, my long-winded answer, I love the youth movement.
Maui, anything that stood out sa young core or anything surprising like 1 GDL? I think he scored single digits nung previous games. Was huge in the clutch in this game. I think Gab, you mentioned like a clutch 3 in the third to take the lead. Hit a clutch 3 in the fourth. Hit another clutch 3 in overtime to take the lead. Anything that stood out for
to
you,
tie the
Maui?
game both
To tie,
times.
yeah. No, I think nung after nung first overtime, it was to take the lead. Parang 90
yeah,
to
oo,
90.
tama.
Something like that.
Yes, we led by 2 points. Yeah, actually, I'm surprised kasi a lot of people are slandering si RJ Abarrientos on social media and said that si 1 GDL should have been playing more minutes. Siguro we have to ask why coach team decided to play Chris Newsome 2 minutes instead of one of the other. Instead of blaming si RJ for one losing some minutes. But yeah, I like si RJ. We finally have a true point guard, I think, in Gilas. I think that's the most important thing. After so many windows, natuto na tayo that we need a point guard to be able to set things up, to be able to provide stability on offense. We cannot let just Justin Brownlee isolate. We cannot just let them isolate. I think the 10 assists by RJ Barrientos in a FIBA game is pretty good. I love how confident si Juan Gomez de Llamo was. I think it was a big mistake that was fortunately corrected by Scotty Thompson injury. I think it was a big mistake not to include him in the original pool. He was fantastic. I think not even just yung scoring, he was also playmaking, and I think the 6 rebounds was pretty important. Gilas had to gang rebound to be able to beat New Zealand in the paint. A stark contrast to when we had Kai Soto. We dominated them in the paint. We dominated them in rebound. So, yes, yung 1 GDL was, I think, better than expected. But I think the guy that really surprised me the most was si Kevin Kiambao a while ago. Creating his own shot, scoring from cutting, scoring off screen, scoring on curls to the corner for 3. Kiambao was just so fantastic during the while ago, and I think finally nakita din in FIBA how dominant a player like Kiambao is and how he has really worked on his craft. I love how in FIBA we always see the floater, which we rarely saw in the UAAP nung latter part because he did
That's
not
true.
need
That's
that.
true.
I even love in 10 minutes to Mike Phillips. Basically, similar to what Gab mentioned, I'm pretty happy that finally they decided to prioritize the youth movement. And we see that they are more than capable. Diba? The first time that Coach Kim Tim decides to give these guys heavy minutes and heavy usage, feels like to me the first time that Kai Soto blew up in Coach Tim's stint in Gilas. I think there is a lot of upside with Tamayo and Kiambao, RJ Barrientos, Juan Gomez. I think that they should remove players like Newsome, players like Junmar, and get players like Belangel or Terdy Ravena or even Kiefer Ravena, who's now playing for one of the top teams in Tokyo, in Japan, I mean. And I think this is the time to really maximize na the youth movement, because the veterans, the young guns from this team are already veterans. They've been training for 2 years. Maybe we should expand the pool to a younger pool base. And yeah, I think I definitely agree with Gab. I think we've been saying this on this podcast for the longest time. We cannot expect Justin Brownlee to carry us to the Olympics, di ba? The cruel thing about basketball is when you age, eventually you get slower, eventually your athleticism dwindles. So maybe it's time to consider other FSAs. Salamat kay Justin Brownlee. I think I was so happy that he hit that crucial three-pointer actually.
Hindi naman
Salamat
FSA,
Brownlee.
Maui, hindi naman sila student athlete.
Hindi naman sila student.
Oo, nasanay.
Sana
nasanay sa-
UAAP eh.
nasanay sa-
Hindi ko din napansin yun. Hindi ko rin napansin yun. So,
Yeah, but yeah, I think we need to have another naturalized player, and a lot of, I think si Boatwright is one of the candidates. Even yung kalaban ni Brownlee, di ba, sa finals ng PBA, has been clamoring for such a long time, Chris McCullough, to be considered as an FSA. So maybe we need to widen the pool. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. The players that are playing are very analytics friendly. All of our players can shoot from the outside, maybe outside Phillips, Fajardo, and Edu. So I think we're trending in the right direction. At least we see some hope. We finally see Coach Tim trusting the young guns, and hopefully a lot more talented young guns get to the pool after this.
okay. So, I love that you mentioned Mike kasi he was, I guess he didn't score a ton like the other young guys, but I wanted to call him out, shout him out because
That's
I
not his
think he
role,
was,
Sam.
yeah,
In this team.
yeah. So I agree. I think he did what he was supposed to do in this role. And I remember on this podcast when we talked about Mike Phillips potentially joining Gilas eventually, the one thing that we all agreed on is we were expecting Mike Phillips to be that energy guy, that glue guy. And I think yung third quarter when we made that run, I remember first part of third quarter, we were down, I think like 10, 12 points. And then during that
11
last
ata
half,
yung
11,
highest, or
yeah, during that last half of the third quarter when we made that run, it was a bunch of classic Mike Phillips play. I think he hustled for the rebound to get a second chance point.
Yung nagka-PTSD yata yung mga UP Fighting Maroons fans eh, sa mga
Mike Phillips
sa mga
plays.
antics ni Mike Phillips. Sabi nila,
Antics.
alam namin yun na.
That looks
Nakita namin yung mga
familiar.
ilang finals na.
So I think he hustled for a rebound, got a second chance point. I forget. I think he passed to Dwight Howard. And then the next play, he hustled again for the offensive rebound. He was boxing out, got a drew a flagrant foul from one of the bigs of New Zealand. And in classic Mike Phillips fashion, missed both free throws. Sabi ko, after niya pumalakpak ng ganun, sabi ko, oh my God, Mike, please, just hit one free throw, please. Pero nope, classic Mike Phillips missed both free throws. I think he hit like a floater the next play. So, played only 10 minutes, but I think solid. I hope Mike Phillips can stay on this Gilas team because I think there will be minutes for him, definitely. Maui, I know Gab talked a lot about Justin Brownlee, but anything you want to add? Are you worried about this Justin Brownlee issue? Like Gilas still maybe being too reliant on Brownlee on the offense?
Yeah, I think so. The international basketball community is more aggressive into scouting and making. They will definitely watch this game. Australia definitely watch how New Zealand was able to keep has been able to keep Brownlee at bay. Brownlee averaged one of the top points, diba, nung FIBA World Cup. And I think we are probably seeing one of the last few windows that I think si Brownlee should be suiting up for the Philippines. Nothing against him, diba? He can still dominate, but actually there was a funny comment I saw on X a while ago. Parang sabi niya sa akin, Justin Brownlee realized that it was not R.R. Pugoy was already defending him. So yeah, I think when the more athletic teams, when the taller teams, not just Australia but even yung Europeans and South Americans, when we face teams who are longer, faster, they can definitely limit Justin Brownlee. They know what to do. Heavily scouted na. I think that's because Brownlee has been so good for us. Diba? I think that's why he was one of the top scorers in most tournaments that he's been with Gilas Pilipinas. And I think what's worrisome to me, I would have probably wanted to see Brownlee shoot 3 for 15 than just shoot 3 to 5 shots in a game. I think has to shoot more than 10 in a game for us. And if Gilas Pilipinas cannot find a way to get this guy going, then maybe we have to find another guy who's more fit into the dynamics also of the youth movement. Diba? Kasi we're
He
transitioning
took 3 shots.
ito
No, I'm just looking at the box score. 3 shots for Justin Brownlee.
3 shots for Justin Brownlee, and 2 of those shots, I think, were in second overtime.
Yeah,
when he
second
scored
Second overtime. Yung 3 at yung
Diba?
off the glass jumper niya.
off
Yep.
the glass jumper. So that's crazy. Diba? When your best player can't even get a shot off. That's not just on Justin Brownlee. That's also on the team, on the coaching staff. They have to have other game plan to help Justin Brownlee get going. But if we can get maybe a new FSA, that's FSA na naman, a new naturalized player that's younger, I think that would
Sorry
be
na
better.
guys. UAAP ang namin ang main topic ng podcast namin. So sanay kami sa FSA. Pagbigay niyo ni Maui.
We're kulang na kami sa UAAP content din, which we get to next week when we get back to the Phil Oil. But anyhow, yeah, Brownlee kasi had a similar trajectory in terms of age with the older Gilas members of the coach team. Now that the young guns are starting to really take over with the team, I think it would be better if we find a person that they can also play with in the long run. That's, I think, one of my main considerations why I think nabibilang na sa kamay ang time maybe ni Justin Brownlee as our naturalized player.
Okay, just jumping on. Sorry, before we move on. Sorry to the people, commenters calling me out. Dwight Howard pala yung nasabi ko, hindi Dwight Ramos. I wish we had Dwight Howard, that kind of big. Ito, question from IM716. That was a winnable game. What do you think Gilas could have done differently? Let's go to you, Gab.
Definitely defensively is one of the problems. Look, a lot of the fluff and the credits will definitely go to the young guys who played really well. See, 1GDL, KQ, who I thought on the ball was just incredible. Yung Carl Tamayo, who shot really well. The problem is, and you can add RJ Abarientos here, all 4 of those guys cannot defend. I mean, they can score, and I think we made a run when those 4 guys, or even 3 of those 4 guys, were on the floor together, because they could spread the floor, they could all create shots, they can all shoot from the outside. So it was good to see in the offensive end. You look at defensively, Tim Cole shouted at 1GDL multiple times in this game. He was just allowing straight line drives to the basket. RJ Abarientos was being taken advantage of. He was also not.
Ang dami na ng RJ.
Grabe, he could not keep his man. He could not stay in front of his man. Same thing with Carl Tamayo. Same thing with KQ. They could not stay in front of their men, and that's gonna be a problem, because if you're playing all of them and they're all allowing straight line drives to the basket, and the defense collapses over and over again, and that happened multiple times. Just look at the stat sheet. We shot and made more threes than New Zealand. We had more assists. The problem is we were allowing so many paint touches. We were getting broken down. New Zealand was missing a ton of shots. You add to that the offensive rebounding and the amount of defensive rotations that they have to do every single time, and wala. I think that's a problem. Siguro they don't have a defensive stopper. Siguro si Dwight na yung magaling na defender, and si AJ Edu. Those guys who are in the rotation can actually defend. And now see Justin Brownlee used to be a pretty good defender. Now I think he's been exposed that he's kind of slow-footed already. And wala eh. Yun yung problem. Ang daming straight line drives kanina. In the first half especially, they weren't hitting their threes. It was a very slow-paced game and we were able to keep up. But New Zealand was able to get points by attacking closeouts, attacking picks, and just attacking the basket. How many straight line drives can we actually give up? So that's a problem. If you look at the previous iterations of Gilas who went to the World Cups, they usually had multiple, two-way guys. You talk about sina Larry Fonacier, a guy who can shoot and can still defend.
Norwood.
Si Gabe Norwood, diba? Defensive stopper. Blank sina Jeff Chan, yung can shoot and can still defend, But
Arpogoy.
Yeah. Arpogoy, yeah, despite all of his faults, he can defend. He does try, and we need to be better defensively because sabi nga ng mga tao, this was a very winnable game. New Zealand was not playing, spectacular. They played better in the previous matchups. They were not playing well, but especially I think it was in the first. When did they give up those 2 layups to Terangi? I think it was the second overtime, diba? When they were up by 4. Yeah, I think that's clearly exemplification of that problem that our guys cannot you cannot stay in front of their men. Hindi nila mabantayan mga tao nila. So it forces others to help. It forces the defense to collapse. And also it allows the guys to expend more energy on defensive rotation. So yun, and also we gotta box out. I think that's one of the frustrations of Coach Tim Cone to Carl Tamayo. He was a -24 in this game. One of the reasons is I don't
-24.
Yeah, and you look at him, but he had a good game, but he was a -24 when he was on the court. A lot of it has to do, I think, he misses defensive rotations and he misses box outs. I think sanay siya na siya palagi yung one of the biggest guys, but when he's going up against 6'9", 6'10", yung 6'11" Kiwis,
big boys.
You
Here,
can't
Gab,
do that.
ito yung comment for you.
Titigas. Yes, that is true. They are very disciplined defenders. But yun, and stop forcing the Justin Brownlee post-up lob. I think they went to that so many times in the first and second overtime, and it just wasn't working. I can't believe that they kept on forcing it there. KQ was doing well. As the main primary yung playmaker, and also si 1GDL. I had no idea why they kept on trying to force it to Justin Brownlee because basang-basa na ng New Zealand si Justin Brownlee.
Maui, you talked about yung defense since Gab mentioned it. I think sabi mo same comment from Korean teams about the defense of Filipino players.
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of Filipinos are Filipinos who tried abroad have struggled with yung defense talaga. I think maybe it's our culture of one-on-one basketball. I don't know. Maybe not everyone is designed to be a good defender, but players like KQ are still continuing to transition to the wing. Si Tamayo is the same. I think there's still chance for these guys. Hopefully, they continue to develop their lateral movement. I thought that si KQ had some pretty good defensive plays during the game. But yeah, a lot of them really need to improve on this. We cannot win on offense. There are so many more talented teams who are more gifted when it comes to the offensive side of the ball. 'Di ba? Sa shot creation lang, 'di ba? And sa shooting, I think a lot of countries have this. So we have to bank on our defense. We have to make sure to gang rebound. We cannot expect players to all our players, diba? A lot of our comments kasi if Kai Soto was here, iba will get more rebounds. There'll be or QMB was here, we'll have a better
Lopez, a lot of people are mentioning Francis
Lopez.
Lopez.
We cannot expect all of them naman, diba, to be available at all times. This is not their pro careers when they represent the country. So they could have personal matters, they could be injured, they could have club or team duty. So we cannot expect them. So I think in defense natin really has to improve from top to bottom, and maybe we need to get some more length into to our lineup. Si Baltazar, I thought warranted not being played kasi who will lose the minutes, diba? How will you play Baltazar a while ago? I think that si Carl Tamayo is Baltazar should have been maybe as good or close to as good as Carl Tamayo is now. If only he was able to maximize the international experience. But yeah, I think that's where we really need to improve. And yeah, I think yung problem with trying to get Brownlee involved in that manner, the whole game, they were just trying to force it in. I could probably count more than 5 turnovers when they did that, di ba? I think they have to have a better game plan on how to get Justin Brownlee going. Because the teams know that Justin Brownlee likes to post up, di ba? Kaya nga nung triangle, he was the main man in the triangle offense. And we just have to have counters. We cannot expect Brownlee to we cannot expect the same play for Brownlee called every time. Diba? We need to find ways to get him going because we are better when he's going, definitely.
Speaking of turnovers, Maui, ano reaction mo watching all those inbound plays from Gilas earlier?
I was just about to point that
This
out.
is mentioned by Marion here. Yung inbound plays
What
nila,
could we have-
sobrang tragic.
What could we have done differently? Our inbounds plays. Like I think the first overtime now less Tim Cohn's fault because they had no timeouts. But still, oh my goodness, what were you doing? They ended up with a Carl Tamayo stuck in the corner.
Stuck in
Not
the
getting
worst
One
spot.
time nun. 9 or 8 seconds pa
May
yun, diba?
7 seconds pa yun, di ba? Parang 7 seconds pa yun. 7.8. Kaya hindi siya na backcourt na eh. Nag-expire na.
Yeah, so crazy. And then the final play with 1 GDL. How was the play to lob it in to Justin Brownlee when there was a 6'11" guy guarding the inbounds pass? And there was no other movement. The play was just to get it, to lob it to Justin Brownlee in the top of the key. What is that? What is that? I don't get it. Where is the creativity? Where is the screens? Where is the movement? Where is it? Those two inbound plays were atrocious.
Question for you, Maui. Do you think the gap is closing at least with New Zealand? Initially, nung nasama yung OCA na sa FIBA Asia, automatic 2 slots.
Yeah,
sa kanila.
definitely. We were able to beat New Zealand. I think we are at par with New Zealand. We can go up against New Zealand. We can go up against China. Anyone. I think only Australia has a big gap with regards to FIBA. I think New Zealand is susceptible to losing to teams like Japan, China, or even Korea if they get hot from the outside. They are beatable. We could have won this game, di ba, a while ago. I don't think there's a gap. This game was definitely ours, and we lost it multiple times in this game, not just in regulation, in first overtime. There were multiple times. We had a 4-point lead in the second overtime. We had a 6-point lead, I think, in nung first overtime. And the 7-point lead before that. So definitely. Yeah, I think we shouldn't be able. Yeah.
Okay, Gab. Other notes from this game, I'll just check some of the comments pa if may questions pa.
Other notes, Maui pointed to KQ, and I think I kind of mentioned it a while ago. I think he should be one of the focal points of the offense. If Kai is not there, and Kai Soto is a big absence, but no, we should run more offense through Key. He looked so comfortable with the ball in his hands. The way he was reading, the way he read yung pick and roll
Grabe, no?
coverages. New Zealand had to adjust on the fly on KQ. I think multiple timeouts they were si Coach Flabel was talking about adjusting the coverage on KQ because he was just a beast uh, of those off ball screens and even those on ball screens. Ang galing. Definitely the growth is there. This is something that I've loved. I've wanted to see from KQ for so long. It seems like he's matured in that his reads. He takes less risks on the floor. Nawawala na yung mga flashy passes niya, which he was known for earlier in his collegiate career.
True.
He's now more patient. Ang ganda. And that floater is money. Grabe, ang dami niyang floaters kanina. And man, I can't wait how he develops. It just the defense talaga has to catch up kasi he can't be a cone on defense when his other teammates are also cones on defense. So he has to develop that. He has to anticipate that first step. He has to know how to read. He has to know how to get in front of his man. It's yun lang eh. Yun lang talaga yung butas sa game ni KQ. Other than that, wala namang masyadong notes.
What are you fixing for in preparation for the Australia game?
Ooh, wow.
Unahan lang
Eliminate
kita,
the June
starting lineup muna.
yeah, eliminate the Junmar minutes. Like as I said at the start of this episode, he should be just an emergency big at this point. It should be Mike Phillips and AJ in this current iteration of Gilas of this roster. It should be Mike Phillips and AJ Edu alternating those center minutes. Kasi if you have those two as your center and the opposing team is playing pick and roll, just watch the AJ Edu minutes. They switch up their pick and roll coverage. They now blitz. They now switch. They don't just drop coverage when you and Junmar is there. Diba? So, ang daming twists that you can put into your defense when you have a more athletic and a quicker-footed big. So, I hope na ganon. I mean, but knowing Timko, he will probably start Junmar Fajardo again in the next game, and we will do this dance again in our next podcast. Why did we start Junmar Fajardo and why did we give minutes to Junmar Fajardo? Yeah, I don't get it. Troy Rosario, thank you for all your service, but at this point, sorry, I don't think you should be getting any rotation minutes for Gilas. KQ and Carl Tamayo, I think, have shown that they are ready to take over the big minute spots in this Gilas rotation. The other thing is, I know we get a lot of comments here. I know a lot are trying to say na if Kai was there, we would have won. Again, I've said this in multiple times in previous Gilas episodes. Our hopes just can't be on Kai Soto. He can't be available each and every time. We have a
want him to
lot
have
of
a long
good players.
career. Hindi parang si Yao Ming, di ba?
We have a lot of good players. We're very capable players, and our excuse every time we lose cannot be that wala si Kai eh. Hindi pwedeng ganun. Kasi magagaling mga players natin. Let's put it out there. Our players are pretty skilled and they're able to play internationally. A lot of yung grabe pa rin ng Korean glow up ni KQ. But yeah, not having Kai should not be our only excuse palagi. So, I don't accept that. We now have more bigs. Diba? Ang dami na nating sentro. Hindi na natin alam, di ba?
True.
Hindi na kailangan si Japet, si
Oh,
Junmar.
so yun. I don't want to see the. If we're gonna play Newsom, we should play Newsom like from the start, not when it's a
In
second
in in
overtime.
the second half man lang at the very least.
You know, Chris Newsom has had good games in the past for Gilas. I think in the last matchup against New Zealand, he played a very good defensive game. He's had good defensive games in the past, but come on, man, Tim Cohn, I'm sorry. Napatulala lang ako sa screen na nandun si Chris Newsom no second overtime after not playing the entire game. That was wild. I don't know what Tim Cohn was thinking. Nocom I think I
Adrian
don't
Noko.
think yung Nocom can shoot also. Diba? I don't think Nocom is a shooter. He was more
Belangel.
ako para sa akin si SJ
Belangel,
kung mamimili.
Kiefer.
Diba? Kung mamimili tayo
Over
ng between Scotty Thompson and si Nocum, si Belangel is right there staring at us in the face. He's played most of his pro career in Korea. He can shoot the lights out. I don't get it. I don't get why he's not
Gilas
part of the roster.
experience.
Oh.
And has said multiple times that he wants to play for the Philippines.
Yeah. So yun. I'm hopeful na No, I'm not actually hopeful that we can beat Australia, but sana man lang. Hindi, sa Sami, if previous matchups are any proof, we get blown out every time.
Nagulat nga ako na sinabi mo, I'm hopeful. Nagulat ako sa I'm hopeful.
I'm hopeful that at least we can keep it close, competitive.
Okay.
You know, and I'm hopeful na the young guys will still get more exposure. But yeah, defensively is where I want to see the improvement.
Yun, may Kiefer Ravena supporter tayo dito. Maui.
Bihira yan. But finally, he gets the recognition. Yeah, I think si Belangel, di ba?
Yeah. Any
I just
last
want to add some.
additional
si
points,
Belangel,
Maui?
Based on what I've heard, si Belangel has not even gotten, wala talagang interest. Zero interest. But I really think he should be. Even si Kiefer, I think. Even before,
Zero interest from the Gilas team, right? Because Belangel has said publicly he wants to play.
Yeah. He wants to play, di ba? Totoo yun. I hope Gilas si RJ ganyan din nag-start, di ba? Before he was given the chance in Ginebra and got to Gilas. I hope si Belangel will get Belangel sooner rather than later.
Well,
Diba?
alam na niya gagawin niya. Pupunta siyang San Miguel. Beerman. Para makalaro
Kailangan
siya
pa ba
sa
natin
Gilas.
antayin si Belangel maging 30 years old, di ba? Much like kay Scotty Thompson, I thought that when we got Scotty, it was a bit later already in his career. And yeah, I think si 1GDL and RJ Abarrientos should start moving forward as point guards sa Gilas. I think si Scotty also is for consideration because we want to play modern basketball, diba? We want to play with guards who have pretty good outside shots. I think that these two have proven they have a longer stretch to be able to play. We can make them part of our future. These two players, and si Scotty is 30 years old plus. So I think it would be ludicrous for me to if Scotty gets more minutes than these two moving forward.
Okay. Any last words, Gab? We will do another episode on Monday. Tama ba? Manalo matalo kahit tambak.
Ito, yung shocker pala is yung Australia ma-upside natin. Oh, we will do an episode. We will definitely do one on Monday. Kung ito yung mangyari, kung ma-upside
Live
natin.
tayo.
Live tayo doon. Magwawala kami.
Magwawala kami.
Iinom mo ako ng beer on this podcast again kahit na may gout na ako.
Kahit may gout na. Matanda ka na rin, Gab. So, magsama na tayo with Justin Brownlee.
Huwag ka na bumalik, Oftana. No need to get Scotty back. Oh my God.
Actually, that's another point for discussion. What happens when the guys are healthy again? Scotty, Oftana, they were getting minutes.
If Oftana plays more minutes than KQ and Tamayo in one of the next games, it would be crazy. I would be so angry, especially if we lose that game. I do
Okay.
not think any other wing
Mamigay sa
players
ko
right
yung
now.
pwede ba yung may butas-butas pa? Yung luma ko mga...
Sisirain ko t-shirt ko on air. Pag gano'n. So galit. So, if Team Cone plays Oftana more than KQ and Tamayo,
Then
I think
KQ
it's
and
time.
Tamayo.
'Di ba? You cannot pull the rug. 'Di ba? Nagpakitang gilas na as they say. It's time to trust these guys. I think it's their time. Finally.
Okay, that's it for today's episode. Another uh, close loss by Gilas against New Zealand. Crushing defeat. Sakit. Masakit talaga. Sayang. Yun talaga yung feeling. I think we started with that. Even now, after we've talked about it, sakit pa rin. Sayang talaga. Si James Laput. Shout out to James Laput. That's it for today's episode. We'll see you again on Monday. We'll talk about Gilas versus Australia. We'll probably talk about the UAAP, Phil Oil. We'll see you again next time. Thank you for watching kahit late na. Bye-bye. Ingat.